This week, we have to discuss a topic that we've discussed numerous times on the CUFI Weekly, especially this year, 2023. That is the topic of terrorism. Why? Because 3 more Israelis were murdered in terror attacks this past week. On Saturday, Shay Silas Nigreker, 60, and Aviad Nir, 28, a father and son were murdered as they did something as mundane as getting their car washed. They were just getting their car washed where they were murdered, gunned down by Palestinian terrorists. And then we had Batsheva Nigri. She was murdered near Hebron in front of her 6-year-old daughter. This has been the most deadliest year for terrorism for Israel since the Second Intifada. 35 people have been murdered this year alone by Palestinian terrorists. The media channels, social media influencers, all these voices that are so active in pushing out propaganda, talking points, condemnation of Israel when it defends itself in military operations, are silent when Israelis are murdered. 35 lives. One of those was an Italian tourist. 35 people, 35 families, which have been impacted forever. Yet this is just part and parcel of the region, apparently. This is just part and parcel of being Israeli. It shouldn't be, and it isn't. This is what terrorism does. It seeks to destroy, it seeks to murder, and it seeks to threaten. Israel has taken numerous steps to fight terrorism. It launched operations in Jenin. It has fought Islamic Jihad when they were launching rockets from Gaza. Sadly, too many in the West who focus on the Middle East, be it in Congress, be it in the media, don't care when Israelis are being murdered. Why is it that a Jewish life doesn't seem to matter to you? Why doesn't it not matter when a mother is murdered in front of her 6-year-old child? Why doesn't it matter when a father and son are murdered just simply getting their car washed? We've seen the IDF have to launch operations putting its soldiers at risk to fight terrorism. When they could have used airstrikes, they could have struck from the air, but because of the risk of collateral damage, the IDF sends ground troops, risking their troops' safety and also protecting Palestinian civilians. But we don't talk about that. So where does this go? Where does this path lead us? Sadly, the Palestinian leadership seems completely inept to prevent terrorism. Sadly, even the most what are deemed moderates, and we know they're not moderates, of Palestinian factions support and hold hands with terrorism. Yet Israel is told to make concessions, make peace. With who? We know for a fact that Iran is funneling money into these groups to attack Israel. We're seeing threats on the border with Lebanon, with Hezbollah, Iran's most powerful and successful proxy. We know that when the rockets were being fired by Islamic Jihad, Iran was deeply behind that. Yet again, there seems to be no condemnation. People just look the other side, and rather than condemning, we seem to give them a free pass. This is why the work of CUFI is so important. With things like the SHIP Act, we are tackling this through legislation. We have a responsibility to the truth. We have a responsibility to our friend and ally Israel. We have a responsibility to the good people of Iran who want to be free. And we have a responsibility to our own country and citizens in the United States. This is Kasim Hafeez for the CUFI Weekly. For Zion's sake, do not remain silent.
Thanks for checking out this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe so you get a notification every time a new episode hits. And if you want to check out some of our previous episodes, and we've got some really good ones, click on one of the thumbnails and that will take you right there. And finally, if you want to know more about CUFI and the work we do, go to cufi.org to check out all the resources we have available free to you.